Hi, Marianne Croce here from Small Biz Vantage and the creator of 3 Day Weekend System. And I'm so glad to be here each and every week to do these, what I call auto shop success in 15 minutes. They're lives. And I'm really glad to do them each and every week. I do them for a couple of reasons. The first reason is for you to be able to shift your perspective as a business owner, a shop owner, and really turn that into your competitive edge. I find that most shop owners that I know, when I talk to them, they feel like their business is consuming them. And, their words are, hey, I'm Marianne, I'm going 24/7, it seems like. And they want to stop doing that. So it's hard to look at your business from that 30,000-foot view. So 15 minutes a week isn't a long time to spend doing that, but it really can make a big difference. The second reason I do these is for you to take one action item away. In 15 minutes or less, you walk away with something that you can actually implement, today, tomorrow. These small changes in your business really help make a ripple effect and make a huge impact on the business over time. So many people will ask me, Marianne, who do you work with? I've been doing this since 2017, and I've been a shop owner since 1999, but I still get asked that question, who do you work with? And I work with single location auto shop owners because those are the ones that will come to me and say, I'm loving my business, and what I want to do now is I want to have a life. I've reached milestones, I had some levels of success, but I want to also have a life without sacrificing the business. So Marianne, how do I exactly do that? And that's where I come in and help. So each week I do a different topic, and this week the topic is easy decision framework, an easier decision framework, because we know as shop owners, we are making decisions every single day and they can weigh on you. But this is a framework that I created years ago, and I've used it prior to being a shop owner, and I've used it as a shop owner for 25 plus years, and it really helps. So I wanted to just unpack it for you, break it down, and share it. So I call this actually my three-legged stool approach. And it's really funny how this actually happened. When you think about it, when you think about how you create a vision for your business, why you're doing what you're doing. A lot of times for shop owners, it sounds really meaty, but I'm going to tell you how it happened for us, and then I'm going to break it down. So what happened when Tony and I opened up our auto repair shop, actually a transmission shop in Connecticut, 25, almost 26 years ago in 99. The vision that we had for the shop when we talked was we wanted to be a resource to our community. And that sounds pretty simple. Our customers and our community. There were going to be people in our community that were going to become our customers, but yet we also wanted to help the community as a whole, whether it was educational information, things like that, helping them make a decision. That was really what we saw as our vision. But that started evolving because we really got on board with that. And we did do a lot of things. Of course, we were very transparent, and there were ways that we could help our customers. And we also educated the community so that they were making informed decisions when it came to maintenance or auto repair. So we felt like we were really doing that. But then what happened was I started thinking about the team and how we grow the team and how we develop the team and how we attract really quality people that aligned with our goals. We had a lot of respect for one another. We had a lot of respect for the industry as a whole. So we were thinking about that, and we decided that we wanted to become a resource to our team and to our peers, industry peers. Now, this was way before social media, but there were forums that were out in the industry. So I would jump on those and I would share tips like, here's what happened, to us. Here's a challenge that we had, and here's how we walk through it. And this way, I figured most of us would just kind of share back and forth, but people were a little reluctant to do that. But I thought that it was important for shop owners to help other shop owners learn, right? Less from our lessons learned and what was working. And then at the same time, really be a resource for our team. So this was the second leg, I realized, of this stool that I was starting to create here. So we had the community and the customers. Now it was the team and industry peers. So that really developed by sending our team to training and doing lunch and learns, or it was training away from the shop, mentoring them, all kinds of things like that to really help them and get them all aligned and on the same page with our core values. So then eventually what happened was there was a missing piece. And I said, you know what? This real industry really needs us to go in and help with the next generation of young men and women that were coming into the industry, because the industry was still back then kind of it had this real outdated perception. So we decided to get involved with schools, and we decided to get involved with career fairs and mock interviews and sit on advisory boards. And at each stage or phase of this vision that we had, it really started to grow and evolve. And we started taking action and doing things to support the vision that we had. So the idea here that this framework that I created, realize that it evolves. I know there's a lot of shop owners that initially will say, well, look, my vision is to be successful in this business, to provide for my family, to provide for the shop, and have a successful business. But my thinking behind that is we all have to do that. We all have to be successful, whether we're working or we own a business. The goal is always to be successful. The goal is always to be able to support our families. This is deeper than that. This is going beyond that. This is why are you doing what you're doing? So that's the approach that I took. And when I created this, it was very clear in my mind. I pictured this three-legged stool approach. And it was very easy to explain to people because I had that vision in my head. So why does this matter? Why does having this vision and letting it evolve on its own, why does it happen? Because without a clear vision, owners really get stuck in that reaction mode. Decisions feel very, very heavy because there's no filter to run them through. And some of the examples that I could say is if something would come up at the shop, it would be, okay, are we best serving our customers and our communities by this? And it would be a yes or a no. If it was something to do with the team or something to do with maybe an association that we were involved with, is this supporting our team or the industry as a whole, our industry peers? Is this a good thing to do? It was a yes or a no. And lastly, when we were thinking about the next generation, being an example for them and bringing people into shadow, this was a great filter to run that through. Are we being a resource to them? Are we being a good example to them? So it really made it easier and decisions felt less heavy. So the vision provides clarity, direction, and confidence. And it did provide us with confidence because we were very excited about what we were doing. And the team started jumping on board and they came up with ideas as well. And when I say confidence, I mean confidence in best serving people, not confidence like being arrogant and not being open-minded to new ideas. So if you're on live or even if you're on the replay when you watch this, drop in the comments right now what you think your shop's vision really is. Think about it like in just like a word or two or even a sentence. Think about it. Think about what it is for you. And what I want to do here is go into the second part of this, and that is how it evolved. Okay, so I really want to break this down again and talk about how it evolved. I know I shared my story, but I want to break it down even further here. So how it evolved is the first stage was the customers in my community. So we were trying to really share and put in front of everyone trust, transparency, local impact. And I said we did that with the mindset of educating people. The second stage was the team and our network. We were talking about growth, opportunities. These were people that we were connecting with that had pride in their work. But again, they were open to learning, to having that growth mindset. And lastly, the third part was the industry, giving back and really helping the next generation. So when you think about it, that was a visual in my head. And what I'd like you to do is share a moment that you realized that you needed a framework to keep these kind of aligned, right? Because I did. I said, wow, how do I share this with my team? How do I share it with other shop owners? How do I share this with the next generation coming in? So for me, that's when I created this three-legged stool approach that I call it. So why this framework works is the next part that I want to go into. And it really gives you a decision-making filter. So it balances your goals that you have across all the areas of your business. And think about it, we all have the same 5 areas of business, whether you're an auto shop, whether you're a marketing company in the automotive industry, or it's your parts supplier, or you're outside of the industry and it could be someone who has an HVAC company or an electrical company. It doesn't matter. We all have the same 5 areas of business, which are sales, marketing, operations, people, and financials. And we can really complicate it, but it's really that simple. So if one leg is weak, what happens is that whole business will wobble. You'll feel it if there's a people issue or a financial issue, right? Operations, systems, processes. If your marketing message isn't clear, or your sales at that front counter, if that's not clear, the business really will suffer. It wobbles if you think of that three-legged stool approach. So the idea is it's very simple. This framework keeps your actions aligned with the long-term goals that you have, not just the short-term fixes, which a lot of times happens because we get so caught up in the day-to-day that we think we just don't have time to do this. But I really keep it simple with this framework. So I just want to give you a real recap here to go over it really clear. So your vision plus the framework that I talked about really gives you clarity and confidence. So if this really hits home with you, I'd really love to hear, any type of 3-leg in the comments that you can think of, any thoughts that you have on that. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. And you know what? Reach out to me if you're ready or you want a little bit of help on it. So I always give my audience an action step and a pro thinking tip. So the action step for this week is identify your own 3 legs. Decide what it is. Write down the 3 most important groups your business serves, right? Think about it. So what I was doing with my business is I was serving my customers in my community. That was one group. The next group that I was serving was my team and my industry peers. That was another group. And then the last was the next generation coming in. Now, yours may be there's a charity that locally you want to support, and that could be 1 leg. But think about what it is. And then for the next 90 days, run your decisions that you have to make, major decisions, through this question. Does this strengthen those legs? If not, rethink that move. Okay, so that's a big one. And then the pro thinking tip that I would like to leave you with is a great vision it's not fluff and it's not only inspiring, it's actually practical. It should work like a compass, guiding both your big picture goals and your day-to-day actions, your day-to-day choices, so you don't drift off course. That's really the whole point of it. And this has worked, it has evolved, as I said, and yours will too, but it has worked for me and really served me well for 25 plus years. And the other thing that I want to share is I actually use this when I worked in banking before I came into the automotive industry. We were very involved in customers, community. We were also involved with helping and supporting one another, being a mentor to new people that were coming in. And lastly, we were very involved in community and charitable. So it was very easy for me after doing that for years. When I opened up the business with my husband, our own shop, it was very easy for me to say, okay, I know we're helping our customers, I know we're helping the community, but I feel like something's missing. And I couldn't figure out what it was at first, but it was gnawing at me. And this is how I ended up creating this system. So again, if you have any questions, if you're on the replay or you're watching it, then put them in the comment and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. So thanks for being here. Auto Shop Success in 15 minutes, and have an enjoyable week.